Today, we all arrested students. I don't think we deserve much applause, but for all the students who have struggled for this moment, all the students who have made this moment to be possible after the demise of Rohit Vemula, who wanted a sense of humanity to be established in this country where there is no humanity. People were divided in the name of caste, religion, and community and creed. Friends, first of all, we would like to thank all the students, all the faculty, even non-teaching staff, and the civil society organizations and different political parties and our advocates, namely Damodar Reddy, Bhimarao, Bujja Tarakam, Raghunath, and few more who are there, and several other people whom I do not know that they have helped, whose participation has been there in this issue. That we would like to thank each and every one of those who have been part of this movement and who are willing to take this movement forward. And most priority, my friend was telling me, my friend came and was telling me in the ears, on the day, on 22nd, when we were lathi charged and when we were taken in vans and then when we were abused, it was the girl students who came and stood in front of us. In fact, it is they who have saved most of the boys who are running out of the scene. I think that appreciation must have to go to all the girl students who have stood there despite receiving severe abuse, severe abuses, and severe humiliating comments. And secondly, it is these brave hearts, it is these brave students, I must say. I think the way Lathi charge was conducted, the way students were beaten and made to run from VC's guest house, the way stones pelted its students, the way women students were sort of, it was, I can't find a word but for molestation. The way beatings were used on each and every, I think if Harish would take his shirt and pant off, I think you can still see those injuries lying physically visible on the student. But after that, what happened is must be commendable, because even after receiving so many lathi charge, so much of beating from police, so much of abuse from police, the students have still resisted the entry of police, still resisted the same Apparao who has made it sure that these all students are arrested, and they have prepared themselves to get arrested to seek justice for Rohit. I think this is unprecedented. The motive behind Lathi charge, the motive behind our arrest was to suppress the movement. Instead, what happened was the movement has expanded in a way which is unprecedented. And when it comes to the way we were abused and all of us were abused, I think in the van where we were taken from university to the different police station, I think, we were treated as murderers, and we were taken from one police station to another police station, another police station to another police station, from there to another police station. When we took a mobile of one person, and then when we tried to at least leak the information that we were at so-and-so police station, even that fellow was brutally beaten up, and then we were taken to some police station which is in Moinabad, which is far away from the Cyberabad Commissionerate, and then in a very secret manner we were produced before the magistrate at 2 p.m. violating all constitutive principles. In the meantime, what was the branding, I think, which we received? We were branded as anti-nationals. These days, this term anti-national has become so much common that These bloody BJP fellows don't even understand what a nation is. Literally, they just, Bandaru Dattatreya, he was speaking that we will celebrate Ambedkar birth anniversary all across the state. These fellow who branded Ambedkar Students Association as casteist, extremist and anti-national, who doesn't even know what a nation is, who doesn't even know what Ambedkar has said about the nation. Ambedkar has said, there is no nation. India is not a nation. It is nothing but divided into castes. Castes are anti-national. Once you have taken birth into a particular caste, and if you are embedded with this value of casteism, then you are an anti-national. This fellow Apparao is an anti-national. How can he become an anti-national? Kati Padma Rao, when he visited this university, I am a Dalit. I don't hesitate to say that I am a Dalit. He said, Dalituda, Dalituda, Bharata Bhumi Biddada, Adi Bhartiyuda, Sindhu Nadi Tira, Allo Nagaral, Sustinchana Modatina, Garikuda, Dalituda, Dalituda. It is we, Dalits, who have built this nation. Who have built this nation with our sweat and energy. That is what Rohit was also pointing out. That you are still not appreciating the work, the mindful thoughts which we have put up for this particular term called India. Though there is no brotherhood, a sense of humanitarianness, we still work for others. We believe in communitarianism, not in sectarianism. But yet, you brand Rohit as anti-national. This fellow VK Singh should have a sense. VK Singh brands Rohit as anti-national. Another fellow called Arun Jaitley, he comes from nowhere, who's called as finance minister of this country, acts as a president of the Kaudal, as a Go Seva Dal president, and brands the students in universities as jihadis. And if these sort of abusive remarks are used against students, then we must have to understand the larger plot which this particular RSS, BJP and this government is using. Friends, it is these universities which are raising voice against all anti-student, anti-people policies of this country, which are raising voice against all anti-Dalit policies of this country, anti-minority policies of this country, which is raising voice against all sorts of violence that is happening in this country, which is raising voice against caste discrimination that is happening in various universities of this country. Hence, if you don't have any option but to support caste, if you don't have any option but to support Brahmanism, then you have to crush these voices which are questioning you. That is what has happened at University of Hyderabad since the month of August, when we were branded as anti-nationals, when we were branded as castes, and when we were suspended with, where Rohit Vemala was pushed into a death zone by not even considering the letter written by him. Now here, 2 months of democratic protest, 2 months of peaceful protest happens at university. Classes were going on. Everything was normal. Professor Periyasamy discusses about an anti-discrimination officer to be appointed at university, on which the henchmen of Apparao, who are certain heads and deans of departments, oppose this move of anti-discrimination officer in the university. Now it is these fellows who come on 22nd, visit Apparao's home, where Alok Pandey would be present, where deans of various schools would be present, where ABVP members would be present, but not the students who are seeking justice for Rohit Vemala would be present. When we want to make an appeal to the Executive Council of University of Hyderabad that Apparao is already framed under a case, if University Executive Council has any knowledge of any constitution, he has appealed for a bail, he didn't get the bail, and a judicial commission is in place, and if he comes into this university, unnecessary atmosphere will be created, and they were anticipating that with his entry, with his welcoming of all so-called few henchmen, a grand welcome by his henchmen into this university, he thought the movement is suppressed since classes were going on. But he doesn't know that there is this anger against this fellow, there is this anger against Dattatreya, there is this anger against Smriti Irani, which has been continuing all across the country and which has only been kept in abeyance as R.P. Sharma terms. Now when he comes, don't we have a right to protest? Don't we have a right to protest against a murderer who has instigated violence on campus? I will narrate two instances and I'll end. I knew one of my friend who is very close to me. After Justice for Rohit Vemula movement has begun, he was very much active part of the movement. And there was this thought that was circulating around that VC Apparao might come back into this university. And when this thought also came to my friend, he said, Apparao is coming. If Apparao comes, then my whole life will be ended up with struggling with him only. I better take a DC than staying here. Then immediately another friend of that particular person, who is also very active in the part of Justice for Rohit Vemula movement, his mind becomes blank. His mind becomes blank. He does not know what he is doing because he could not tolerate the idea that Apparao is going to come. Now here friends, there are situations still that are prevailing which cannot tolerate even the name of Apparao entering the university. Then how can you expect that we can tolerate his presence in the university? I'm sure if his presence would still be continued, then the protests will turn even more stronger. The protests will take a shape which none would anticipate. This is not only a warning, it is also a message that we want to take forward for the betterment of the university. Today we could see a support that has raged from various international universities. A letter has come to University of Hyderabad, which we were reading in jail basically. These all updates we got to newspapers in jail. Saying that if you are not recalling VC Apparao, we are going to cut these global ties with University of Hyderabad. Another 300 delegation of distinguished faculties write to the president that recall this fellow called Apparao. Now, should an institution suffer because of an individual? Thus, we as students must have to think. Should an institution suffer because of an individual? Here, Apparao is an individual who has been supported by his Kamma lobby, operated by a Kamma Vice Chancellor, a Kamma Registrar, and a Kamma Deputy Registrar Security, supported by another Pedda Kamma who is sitting in Delhi, Venkaya Naidu. Now, is this Hyderabad Central University or Kamma Central University? Now, if you are making this university into that regressive space, can we as students accept it to be transformed into that state of affairs? I would say a big no. I cannot tolerate it. I cannot tolerate it because Rohit Vemula does not want it to tolerate. Because Rohit Vemula does not want identities to take primacy in this world. Instead, humanity should take the primacy in this world. Now, what happened after our arrest? Electricity cut down, mess cut down, water cut down. What happened later? There is a flourishing humanity that has come from outside, not from inside. There are neighboring residents who have said, we will open homes for UoH students. We will offer food for UoH students. It is a signal of humanity that has come after Justice for Rohit Vemula incident. I think this credit must go to each and every student who has taken part in this Justice for Rohit Vemula movement. Today, I would see this movement not as a movement between castes, but between a group of people who are supporting casteism and between a group of people who want to annihilate caste. This is a movement for annihilation of caste, where for the first time, all students, irrespective of caste, class, creed, have come together and are talking against caste. This for the first time that is happening in the history of the country. I think this moment has a lot of significance. And HCU must be proud of it. HCU is setting an example in this direction. Hence, friends, I think, when we have any other sort of press conference, we have for few other details which are more sort of political rhetorics than the updates that we were to tell. But there are more intricating things that we faced when we were taken from one jail to another jail. We were told our human rights are suppressed. When I asked, sir, I want to look at the FIR, what charges were framed against us. I want to know what is who complained against me and other rest of us. Then the answer that I received from a police officer is that your human rights are collapsed. Even if I hang you, no one can question you. Shame. He need not tell that my human rights are collapsed, because I knew this from a long time that my human rights are already collapsed in this country. That this fellow need not educate me on that. But however, later what happened is, there is a flood of movement that has come from all across the state and all across the nation, which forced these same police people to call to the jailer and inquire whether there are any complaints that are going from this jail against us. That means the fight for human rights has begun, which has started frightening the same police force which has lathi charged us. I think this also becomes an important milestone in the entire thing. So friends, I'll not take much time. I've already taken a lot of time. But I like to appeal to each and every student that in a student's career who's participating in movements, jail is something which is the last thing that anyone would wish to be. And also, jail is something that is the last option that anyone can accept. And beyond that, if there is anything that murder or kill that person who is raising the administration or the injustice. Now, we have reached to that point. Here, in the jail, I think all 27 of us, what we have decided was, when we come back to the campus, we will stand firm and we will take this movement of justice for Rohit Vemula forward, because if they want to slap, they will slap another case and they will take us to the same jail where they have put us, and where we felt that HCU under the rule of Apparao is much worse than the jail where we have stayed. Hence, we will stand, we will fight till this fellow Apparao is removed as Vice Chancellor from this university, till justice for Rohit Vemula is reached, and till these thoughts that are circulating amongst various students
are removed. And I would assure that I'm not caring for anything else but justice for Ruth Formula. At least, thank you.